So welcome. Just close your eyes. Let's take a few breaths here with the hands at the heart space. Let's have a deep breath in. And then again. And once more. Just sort of signaling to the body that it's going to move into this space now to realign itself physically, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. And let's take a twist to the right and just hold. And then over to the left. Just releasing any tension that's accumulated in the back, shoulders, heart space. Come back to center. Let's go forwards and back for the spine. And as you go back, notice whether your body actually is saying, please sigh out, and give it a sigh. So remember, sighing, crying, and even laughing can be a response to stress. And it's ways that our body can reset the nervous system. Lovely. Let's work with the heart space a little bit more. So bring the hands to the shoulders with the thumbs pointing back. And as you inhale, go to the left. And as you exhale, to the right. Back to center. Bring the elbows together. We're going to take a breath in. We're going to hold the breath at the top just momentarily. And then I want you to sigh out. Breathe in. Next one. Lovely. So we're going to open our 8th chakra. So remember, this is also called the Viracocha. Has many names. So our 8th chakra is up here. And it's essentially our soul. It's got all the information we've ever needed since the beginning of time. And there's a little line of light comes down, and that's what drops down into the rest of the chakras. And there's one right above that, which is out of our energy field, which is the 9th chakra. And there's only one 9th chakra in the whole universe, and we all share that, which is why there is no other. We're all connected. So I want you to bring your attention to the heart space. And I want you to set an intention to shed everything that no longer serves you, like leaves on a tree. So leaves are able to do that every season, and actually so can we. And as women, we can do that every month, even if we are past our cycles. We still cycle energetically, as do men, and we can release every month with the cycle of the moons. So setting that intention to let go. Breathing in, sweep the arms all the way up. Good. Now let the palms open, and then slowly open the Viracocha, the 8th chakra. So you've got this beautiful energy that's coming all the way around you to form this circle. And when we do this, we step out of time and space, and it becomes a sacred space for us to do our practice in. So let's start with a warm-up for the lungs. I haven't done this for a while. So we're going to start with the Hasta Mudras and the Pranayama. So thumb and index finger together, and bring that little loop into the groin. And be aware of the abdominal breath. So we hold lots of trapped energy here around the solar plexus and in the organs. So again, if you feel there's a natural propensity to want to sigh, then just sigh it out. And then we're going to use the R sound. So all of these sounds are really good for the vagal tone, because the vagus nerve starts in the brainstem, and our vocal cords are governed by that as well. So take a breath in. We're going to chant the sound R, just very softly. Take a breath in. Ah. Lovely. Now just resting. So you can hear the little one next door. He's very chatty these days. Just allowing yourself to drop into that space of stillness and silence after the sound. Good. Now bring the hands into Chinmaya Mudra. So that's the loop. And then the last 3 fingers of each hand come into the palm. And then you bring that into the groin. And this will work the thoracic breath. So this region around the heart space. So that goes all the way around the body like a big band. Take a breath in. Have a sigh out. And now we'll use the sound ooh. So we'll do 6 of them. Take a breath in. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. 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 Again, just resting in the stillness and the silence, this space that's created by the sound vibration. And then take the hands, bring them into Adi Mudra, which is the thumb comes into the palm now and the fingers wrap over so you've made a fist, and then pop that fist towards the groin area. And this will work the clavicular breath, so you might feel a vibration in the underarms, collarbone, neck, and even up into the head. And this sounds a lovely vibration up into the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. It's also good for the thyroid. And this is just a humming. So let's take a breath in first and a sigh out. And again. And then breathing in and humming. Mm. Mm. And once more, just allowing yourself to rest in the space that you've created. And then keeping the hands in the mudra, but bringing the hands so that they touch. They're just in this curve that where the ribs come down to form that sort of triangle here. And this is called Brahma Mudra. And it's where we bring the three sounds together to create Om. So R is the sound of creation. U is the sound of maintenance of that creation. And is the sound of ending that cycle. And then it starts again. And this is the cycle of the universe. Everything cycles in that pattern. Something is born, something is maintained, and then something dies, and then something is born again, just like as seeds in flowers, etc. And we're no different. The difference is that what is born again in us is our soul, because our soul is eternal. So feel the breath. Sigh out. So I don't always teach sighing out, but sometimes it's just nice to do the sigh out. Lovely. Now let's make the sound. So nice and soft. Take a breath in. Just letting the hands rest in the lap. And again, observing the effect of the sound upon the body, the mind, spirit, emotions. So we're going to use the extended exhale. And when we start to use the exhale, I want you to visualize the exhale as if leaves are falling with the exhale. So we're just going to move into a guided meditation, but I just want you to visualize that as you exhale. So breathe in for a count of 4. Slight pause at the top. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Keep going. And maybe you're sitting under a tree. And as you exhale, the leaves are slowly starting to fall. Maybe it's just one to start with. Lovely. Let's increase that exhalation to 8. Lovely. Now I'm going to increase the exhale to 10. So remember, as we start to move to these higher counts in the exhale, we're just simply breathing out much more slowly. So there's more control, there's more mental focus. And then finally, if it feels comfortable, I want you to breathe out for 12. So it's very slow. You can hardly hear the exhalation. And a good tip is to, when you got that counting for 4, just hold the breath for a moment so that you slowly release the exhalation. So you don't release it all in one go and then there's nothing left to release to increase that count. Start to become aware of the slow, steady drumbeat of the heart in the exhale. The dum, 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 dum. Lovely. Now release the count completely and just simply observe. I want you to use your imagination, your creativity, and I want you to walk into a beautiful old ancient forest. And in the very center of this forest is a huge tree. And it's almost like the grandmother tree, the one that supports the rest of the forest through its roots and the mycelium network underneath. And it communicates to the younger trees, supports the younger trees. And it's got an amazing canopy. And as you walk into the forest and you go to find this tree of wisdom, the world tree, imagine as you walk towards it that you're going there with a purpose and intention to shed the things that no longer serve you. Maybe the repeating dialogue of the things you don't like, the things you do like, the attachments, the aversions. Maybe there's a habit. Maybe it's based in food or something else. Maybe it's the way you feel about yourself. And as you continue to walk through this beautiful ancient forest, and you think about the things that you're ready to let go of, be aware of the sound of the twigs underneath your feet. Be aware of the smell of the earth, that damp, earthy smell. Notice the other animals that live here, how the forest supports a huge diversity of life. Mushrooms, mycelium, tiny insects, worms, millipedes. And then this biodiverse layer supports the birds because they need to feed. Be aware of the bird song that fills this forest. And then maybe a slight scurrying of rabbits. Maybe there's some deer. Maybe there's a bear. Whatever comes to mind in your imagination, whatever your forest looks like. And then very slowly notice that you can see this beautiful tree now as you've got into the very center of this dense forest. And it is truly magnificent. Huge trunk, branches that span out so wide that they drop to the floor and then create roots from the branches. And take yourself there and find somewhere to sit in this tree. Maybe you sit with your back to the tree and you place your bottom to the ground. Maybe you like to climb and explore and you find a bough that holds you, almost like being held in a giant palm of a hand. Whatever feels right for you. And just feel as you connect to this ancient tree that's, let's say it's 1,000 years old. And think about the things that this tree has seen, that it's witnessed, and the wisdom that's held deep within the tree, in its roots, in its bark, in its trunk, in its leaves. And as you settle into the breath and this sensation of being with this tree, this being that is very different to us, but it is a being that is alive. See if you can sense its energy and how it immediately allows your entire system to relax, just on touching it. And say hello to it. And thank it for its wisdom, for its presence, for holding your space for you. And just look up as if you're turning your face towards the sky, and you can see this beautiful dapple sort of autumn sky. So it's blue with clouds, and the clouds are moving fast because it's quite windy and that season of autumn is arriving. And you can see that some of the leaves are starting to change colour, and they are moving from a beautiful green to these gorgeous sort of golden autumnal shades, red, orange, gold. And notice the tree speaking to you and asking you to just let go. Let go of the conversations that no longer matter. Let go of the stories that no longer matter. Allow yourself to shed the leaves. And as you are aware of the tree actually speaking to you, notice that actually you've dissolved into the tree and you've become the tree, this wise tree with 1,000 years of wisdom. And feel yourself shedding these leaves. And as the leaves shed, maybe some of them are very specific, and one of them holds a story, and then as soon as that one sheds, a load of other stories fall down with it because they're all interconnected. And be aware as you exhale, the leaves start to rapidly change colour and slowly you drop them to the floor. And this sense of unburdening yourself of energy that you can't sustain anymore, just like trees do. They drop the leaves, and then the leaves create nutrients in the earth below them. And we can do the same energetically. So just drop the leaves, leave the stories behind. Notice what it feels like to be a tree. Be aware of the water being pulled up through the trunk, through the big taproot, coming up through the entire body. And also be aware of that sense of storing energy ready for the winter months. Letting go of everything that doesn't serve you anymore. Let it go. Just let it go. And then take a few more breaths to allow your leaves to be completely shed, so that when you look up into your branches, they're completely bare. And it's time to hibernate slightly, and it's time to nurture yourself over the winter months, preparing to sleep a bit more, perhaps. Maybe finish projects you've started when the nights are darker. And really taking time to nurture yourself. Maybe it's reading a good book or learning something new. Preparing for those winter months. And notice that the tree is releasing you now, and you can feel yourself transforming back into human. And you thank the tree for holding you and helping you to let go, and for giving you the wisdom. And you hear the tree ask you to take some of its shed wood. So the trees will also shed some of its wood when it's dead. So find yourself either climbing down or standing up from the tree trunk, and just sort of placing your hands on the tree, giving it a really big hug, maybe a kiss, telling it how much you love it, and thanking it once again for just holding you in this space. And then go and find a piece of wood that it's shed. And taking that wood in your hand, I want you to bring yourself back through that lovely forest, and notice that all the other trees have dropped their leaves and the light is a little bit darker. It's much more autumnal. The wind's gathering, the leaves are starting to swirl, and you're going to walk yourself back to your home, back into your body where you are now. And in your hand you have this beautiful piece of the tree, and it's an offering. And I want you to imagine that you're going to put this piece of wood into a fire in front of you. So it's all just imagination. Pop it into the fire. And the light that you see burning from that wood is the sunlight that the leaves absorbed in order to grow the tree. And that light is being given back to the universe. And just notice that that is the cycle. Just like the Om that we started with. Something is born, something is sustained and it grows, and then it dies, and then it's born again. And be aware of that as you watch the flame burn, that your true essence is like that. It's a light. And when the body no longer serves us, that light continues onwards. And then sometimes it comes back, has another go at planet Earth. And sometimes it goes somewhere else to one of the other planets in the solar system that inhabit life that isn't physical, but it is life. And just be aware of that sense of connecting to your true self, which is like a beautiful fire. And then imagine, so actually use your hands, imagine that you're going to take some of that fire, the heat of the fire in your hands, and you're going to bring it to your heart. Breathe it in. Just keep bringing it into the heart. And feel that sense of transformation. And holding the heart. Bringing the hands to the side of the body. So we're going to fold up our Viracocha, our 8th chakra. And we're going to come back into normal time. So as you inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, into the 8th. And see if you can sense that so it's quite far above the crown of the head, that if you work with your hands, you will sense there is a ball of energy there. It's very subtle. The more you do it, the more you become really attuned to it, and it is beautiful. It's like your own personal sunshine, and it's full of all that information that you've carried with you through many, many lifetimes. And then you're just going to share a little bit of that light back into yourself again. Bring it into the third eye, throat, heart space, solar plexus, second chakra, root chakra, and then place the hands down as if you're touching Mother Earth and share some with Mother Earth. And be aware of that sense of interconnectedness with all beings. Bring the hands back to the heart space. And namaste. Thank you for joining me.